So when you have something to create or you want to share something, but you think, oh, it's not good enough, or oh, my song's too simple, or oh, I've only just started playing the guitar, so I can't make a song and share it. Yes, you can. Um, and being scared that it's not like Ed Sheeran or someone up there who's already really good is gonna keep you stuck in the same place. So you've got to fall. You've got to, be embarrassed. You've got to put something out there and then 1 week later look back on it and go, oh, why did I do that? You've got to go through that to keep moving forward.
My voice can't show me the way. Welcome to Dandelion Stories Becoming the Bard. Today I am joined by Frey the Bard, and I'm so excited to have this conversation with Frey today because I've only met Frey once before. I'm doing that, it looks like twice, but once I've met Frey. And interestingly, I remember back to the first episode of this podcast where I introduced Pete, and I was like, yeah, I've met Pete in person a few times. And actually, I hadn't. I only met Pete once in person, I realised afterwards. And you can feel sometimes like you know somebody because of the interactions that you have online on social media. And so I've been having a little bit of interaction with Frey online via our social media channels, and it's just so lovely to be in communication with another bard. So welcome, Frey, nice to have you on today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. Super excited to speak with you and
Yeah,
finally catch up after our one meeting
and
back at that festival.
it was such a short interaction that we had in person, and it was really, it for me it was really fortuitous because I had only just heard the call to becoming a bard about 1 month before we met, and we met at Into the Wild, which is a lovely festival in Sussex. I think it's in Sussex. Anyway, and it was the last day, and I'd gone off because I was on an impulse purchase mission because I'd seen the flutes on the stand, the Native American flutes, and I had my eye on them, and I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to go and spend that money I don't have on a beautiful flute. And I went and I spent some time picking out a flute. And as I was wandering back, I went to the totem in the middle of the main field, and I was like, I'm going to play my flute here. And you were there, and you were like, "Wow, you flew! It's lovely." And I let you have a little play of my flute, and we just spoke for literally a few minutes. And I said that I was a bard, and you were like, "Me too." so, so I was like, "Right, let's connect on Instagram," and I think it just went from there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
tell me, Frey, like how how long have you been barding it up?
Well, how long have I been barding up? I'd say the path to becoming a bard has been my whole life. But similar to you in realizing and getting the call and kind of seeing the puzzle pieces come together and realizing, oh my God, I'm a bard. Um, that's only been over the last year. I had a big travel. I was backpacking for 3 months in America in 2024, and I got back from that, and I just felt like cracked open in every way possible. And since then, I've just been discovering my voice, art, inspiration, joy, and through that has come the bard, the creation of the
In
bard.
Interesting that it was last year as well. Like
Hmm.
so much that we can talk about, you know, the year of the snake and the energies that we're moving through right now. And I know that you're very highly aware of all of that from some of the poetry and the songs that you've been creating. So yeah, what were you up to before that? Tell me what you were up to before that, and like, yeah, what is your day to day kind of? What does it look like?
What was I up to before being a bard or before
Yeah,
traveling or
yeah, like before traveling, like what were you up to? What's your life been like up till now?
Up till now, it's been a lot of obviously I went through school, um, and then got a job and did the 9 to 5 for a good 3 years, and I was killing myself really, just working all day every day for a long time, which was good because I got to save up some money to support my lifestyle for the future. Um, so it was very normal, as they say. Um, and it became not enough, and I became bored. My body was hurting from all the hard work, and then there was this one time I got a really bad back injury at work, and I went home, and that was kind of when I decided I'm not gonna kill my body anymore to get money. I want to do what I love, and that was kind of the first step to realizing that I can do something that isn't soul destroying to to support myself. And that comes in the form of expressing, for me at least, and creating things that have a good impact in people's lives. Um, so yeah, before I became or labeled myself as a bard, it was 9 to 5, a lot of going to the gym, going to climbing walls, still being active, um, just without the creativity. Um, in a certain sense, I've really exploded with creativity over the last year. It's been beautiful.
Yeah, like obviously I feel like I'm probably quite a bit older than you. I'm just I'm not sure how old you are, but I would hasten to guess at least 20 years. And I know that I've done a big deep dive back, looking back on my childhood and like what really truly brought me joy during my childhood years. And I realize how much I buried it and stifled it and stopped doing it because of the fact that was, I suppose, trying to live up to some expectation. I did it quite unconsciously. It wasn't conscious, I don't think, really. Living up to some
Mm,
expectation of society, what society felt I should be as a woman. And as a woman who wanted to become a mother one day, I have two children. Um, and so I kind of lost my spark in all of that, and I stopped creating, and I stopped expressing, and I stopped using my voice for what I truly believe I came here to use it for. And that's been part of what I've been going through writing my book. It's been a big reclamation of my voice, and that the bard thing was definitely not premeditated. It kind of came from within my body. It's like I've said it before, my body remembered before my brain was able to catch up, because the words were coming out of me and I was like, I don't even know what that word really means. And so then I went on a journey to discover it, and all these magical things have happened since. And like the fact that like bards are coming into my like real true reality spheres, like meeting you at festival. I met other women in the last women primarily in the last year who have felt this call to becoming a bard, or and so it's been, yeah, it's felt very much like a time for the bards rising. And
mm,
so there's obviously something in the air, as they say, and it's meant to be at this time that it's needed here on the planet right now, this
absolutely.
reawakening of our creativity and using our voices, and um, really sharing for me from that heart-centered place, my truth, and cultivating, for me at the moment, I spoke to this at the beginning, a sense of peace and a real
Mm.
sense of living in the now. How does it kind of show up for you primarily?
For me, I think it started off with becoming aware and becoming aware that, I mean, we all have to eventually exit that stage of being unconscious, like when you were saying you were kind of unconsciously doing these things when you were younger to live up to the expectations. There's a point where you either wake up or you live in that unconsciousness so much for so long that it builds up and you have a big boom crack and then you wake up. So you either wake up by reading things or hearing other people's stories or by living in that for so long that your soul, your being just can't take it anymore. Um, so it shows up through that awakening. And after that, it's being aware in your everyday life about so many things that happen all the time, but we don't bring our awareness to, like breathing, just like waking up and being like, thank you. I've got breath. I've got lungs. A lot of people wake up and they're like, oh, get up, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. You got to wake up. Oh my God, I've got lungs. I can breathe. Oh my God, I've got hands. I can move if you have hands. Some people don't. Um, yeah, showing up and being aware of all the things that we have previously taken for granted. And then using the fact that now we know we've got all this amazing stuff and having that gratitude for it to then that's kind of the fuel on the flame to use it. Once you realize that we're so blessed to have everything we have, our bodies, our breath, everything, the people around us, that for me personally is kind of fuel on the flame to create, to use what I've got while I've got it. Um, I'm 23, by the way. um, and I definitely went through a similar thing with being younger and doing what I think I should be doing because of society expectations and all that. Um, and there does come a point where you wake up and you're like, what what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I've actually got that as a
So
screensaver on the back of my phone. Sometimes I pick it up and I'm like, oh, what do I want to do? Am I being conscious of what I want to do now? Yeah.
So much yes to that, Frey. I mean, that's one of the things that I've been going through even more so since hearing the call to becoming a bard. It's like I have this opportunity whilst I'm here in this body, in this life, to, and this is the interesting thing about becoming something. It's like I'm not really that interested now in what the future is bringing. As long as I get the very, very privileged, and I do realize it's a privilege to be able to be in this reality that I've now cultivated for myself. So there's an element of like I've created it, but I also feel very blessed at the same time to have the opportunity to wake up in the morning and take time to, like you say, go to my altar, light a candle, say a prayer, wake up and realize like love my surroundings and I'm so grateful for them. And then moving forwards and choosing, like, I actually don't feel like I've got the energy to push on that today. So I'm just going to rest. I'm going to go write a song or, whatever it might be. Like yesterday, it was clean my house because one of the things that I've been doing over the last few years through writing the book is like very much feeling like an energy drive towards like this transformation that I'm going through requires all this work. And now I feel a little bit like I've graduated from that work and I get to like enjoy just being and loving life. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that, but there is a sense of not not overly worrying about what's coming down the track anymore. And I know what I was going to say. I was going to say about how when you look outside of yourself or you look to society's expectations, or it might even just be that you've placed those expectations. It's like you've perceived everything in a way of like,
Oh,
I need to be this
definitely.
thing. Yeah. So when that happens, there's a real sense of lack. There's a real like energy around lack. And I think I'm deconditioning from that energy of lack right now. And
Hmm.
so to wake up and be like, oh, beautiful breath in my body. Ah, whatever it might be, next thing. That
Hmm.
creates a real sense of abundance in your life rather than lack. And so it like I don't feel that I need, some of the things that I felt I needed to look successful to other people, because actually I've got everything I want right here, right now.
Hmm. Yeah, and setting off in the morning with that state of stopping, feeling, and remembering you're blessed and feeling the gratitude, you can then continue your day working from that place instead of skipping that and working from wherever you're working from before that are creating the outcomes that you've got in your life. And if you work from a place that isn't desirable, you're going to create more of what's not desirable. And the the space between where you are and where you think you should be, the space in between those two places, point A and point B, is unhappiness. If you think you should be there and you're not there, then you're already going to think something's wrong because you're not where you think you should be. You are where you should be. You are here. You will be somewhere else at some point, but right now you're here. You're where you should be. The journey is part of it, and maybe you have a destination, maybe you have a point B, but don't get caught up in the fact that you're not at point B yet. You're exactly where you need to be to get to point B.
So lovely to meet a 23-year-old male with such such a great head on your shoulders, for want of a better phrase.
I've had some
um,
great teachers.
yeah. Oh, well, tell me little bit about bard life and how that kind of manifests for you. Because one thing that I love is looking at your stories on social media. There was this one that's coming to mind where I think you went off in your van and you were, I think, I can't remember exactly where you were, but you were like, I'm just going to run down the street and ask these people if they want to hear a poem. And I know that you do a lot of running after people and offering poems to them. Tell me a
Yeah,
bit more about that, and like what, yeah, why do you do that?
yeah. I think the reason I do that is because I love to share and I want to share my poems. And sometimes I'll see people and I won't even think about running up to them and asking them if they want a poem. But sometimes if it pops in my mind, I just do it because if it pops in my mind, to me, I see that as a call or a sign um, to do it. So I just do it. But I think where that really came from in looking at my past is when I was younger, my my brother, I've got an older brother and I love him to pieces. But he would always find me annoying because I am really annoying. And I wouldn't have a problem going up to him and being annoying and getting in his face and showing him things. And I think I've kept that growing older. I'm not ashamed to run up and be like, hey, look at this, what I made. I made this and it's awesome. Have a look at it. You should look at it because I made it and it's awesome. And because I made it, it is awesome. And I love myself and I love what I create and I want to share it. And I think the energy behind that of the love, of loving myself, loving the work that I do, means that most of the time it will be received with either, oh, that's a shit poem, but I love your attitude, or, oh, that's a brilliant poem and I love your attitude. Um, yeah, so it comes from a place of wanting to share what I've created. And that came from realizing that I have stuff to share and that if you have something to create, which everyone does, even if they don't know it, you should share it.
Mm. I love that you've just spoken to that, because I feel like it's one of the things that I talk about a lot, and it's actually, I've been doing quite a lot of my own shadow work, and I do a lot of that through contemplation of the gene keys, which is linked to the human design system. And I did a little bit of work. I did a little bit of work. That's a lie. I didn't actually do anything. I sent my profile off to somebody else and they kind of analysed it for me, and they sent back this really wonderful reflection that was all about how part of me kind of healing my relationship wounds is knowing that I can safely share my voice, my work, my creations with others. It's a big part of who I am and why I'm here. Um,
Mm.
and so the fact that you just spoken to that is lovely for me, because it's nice to know that, I'm not the only one who wants to do that. I know I'm not. I know I'm not, because there's many people out there doing it.
Yeah, but
Um,
sometimes it can feel like you're alone, but actually you're not.
Yeah, absolutely. And to also be kind of championing it for other people, because part of what I write about in my book is that not everybody is going to have songs and poetry and artwork that they want to share, but there's an element of having um, the courage to share your desires with the people around you. Because if you
Hmm.
don't, there is a little part of you that kind of dies inside. And so, you know, a lot of people hold things back for fear of like how it's going to be received, or um, is that going to be too, am I going to be too vulnerable, or am I going to shake things up too much? And is it going to, is the fallout going to be something that I just can't handle? Um, what I've discovered is that almost the opposite is true. It's like it's the way to a sense of freedom, actually, to be able to express through my voice. And so I hope that my book, even for those people that don't consider themselves creative, in the sense of the word that we've been conditioned to believe what creative means, but recognizing that we're all creative beings and we create our existence, and how can we find ways to express so that we can make manifest the things that we really truly dream of, and the things that bring us the most joy in life.
Absolutely. I really see that in you as well. And I'm not surprised that you said that resonated because when we first met, you were saying, "Oh, I feel the bard life is calling," and then I've just seen you on social media fully going for it, no matter what. You're just putting everything out there, and it's like, yes, I admire that. I admire that a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
starting to be much more confident around sharing. Even, yeah, like I wrote a song yesterday, and I'm like, I know I haven't put it out yet, but I'm like, I know my songs are super simple, and they're super simple for a reason. One, I'm only just at the start of this journey for myself. Two, I love this, that songs can be simple, because it means that they can get picked up by other people and they can be shared really easily.
mhm.
And this song has like 3 words in it. And it's just the same word over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm like, but this is what's bringing me joy right now. It's bringing me joy, and it's cultivating peace. And the word is peace. The main word is peace in this song.
Mm.
And so I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is what I'm meant to be doing right now. And through sharing it with others, that is, I hope, a little bit of a permission slip to go and cultivate your own joy, your own peace. That's
Hmm.
what we need, right? We need that in the world right now.
Absolutely. Everyone's on their own path, doing their own thing, and at their own stage in life, wherever that may be. And there's definitely a lot of people now who need to see people like you doing their thing and then be like, oh my God, I can do that.
Mm.
Even if it's just planting a seed in the people who are really far from expressing themselves fully, it's like seeing people just doing what they do, no matter what, just because they love it, is going to plant a seed in somebody who knows how long it'll take to grow, but it's planting seeds and
Oh,
inspiring.
Yeah, planting seeds. Yeah, my life's work gene key is all about new beginnings, and so planting seeds is something that I know. There's a sense of like an old world dying out and a new world beginning, and I'm definitely here for the beginning part, not the old bit dying so much. and
Yeah.
and you know and bring and having people like yourself and myself, people that are willing to like show up and share and potentially, yeah, potentially kind of fall over doing it, whatever that means for you. And not having the courage to like be like, it's okay, we get up again and we carry
Hmm.
on, whatever, there's so many people that are out there that are just stifled with fear around showing them their true authentic selves.
Hmm.
And
Fear
that
is the
and
idleness of will.
Yeah, speak to that a little bit for me.
So, fear being the idleness of will is when you're in fear, your will is stifled, it's stuck. So, when you have something to create or you want to share something, but you think, oh, it's not good enough, or oh, my song's too simple, or oh, I've only just started playing the guitar, so I can't make a song and share it. Yes, you can. Um, and being scared that it's not like Ed Sheeran or someone up there who's already really good is gonna keep you stuck in the same place. So you've got to fall. You've got to, be embarrassed. You've got to put something out there and then 1 week later look back on it and go, oh, why did I do that? You've got to go through that to keep moving forward. I've got a really beautiful poem called Mother, and it's Mother is the repetition of learning. And it's all about that, the way that you've got to keep going, get back up. You fall, you get back up. Um, Even when you feel stuck, you must get up.
I'm going to ask you to share something in a moment, if you're happy to. But one of the things that I was doing yesterday, which I often do, is listening to astrology podcast. and
Ah,
I love listening to astrology podcasts, but not necessarily always about astrology because I don't understand half of it. Um, I don't understand most of it, in fact. But I love listening to astrologers kind of take on things and certain astrologers take on things. And some of the people that they interview are really super interesting people. And I was listening to this one lady who was a shaman, and she was talking about, I can't even remember the name of it. Like, this is the thing, I pick up on like little bits and bobs of things. But there's that scale of like frequency or something where like shame and fear are all down in the lower kind of levels of frequency, and then you've got like love, and then they reckon authenticity is like the top level of frequency.
yeah,
Yeah, that. Well, she
yeah.
was talking about being somewhere in the middle, and I've spoken to it today already. I've used the word neutrality, and apparently if we can have people being at neutrality around, when you're thinking about things that are going on in the world, there's so much polarization, um, and there's so much kind of focus on like, look over here at all these awful things that are happening. Like, that's where for me, like, if I can remain kind of neutral and writing songs and being creative, for me that creates a real neutrality in my nervous system.
Mm,
And interestingly, she was saying that the next rung on the ladder after neutrality is willingness, and you've just spoken to that, which is really interesting to me that that's now come up, because that's obviously something that I wasn't aware of before. And that willingness to put yourself out there to show your authentic self, which is like supposedly the highest vibration, is like authenticity. When we could get to that point where we can all, authentically show ourselves, our true selves, what we're actually here for.
mm.
That's the work, right?
It's definitely part of it. I think
Yeah.
one of the main parts is just to be you and I mean, I think we all have to go through that, the levels and to rise up through them because if you never went to the bottom, how could you appreciate what's at the top kind of thing? Um, and it is part of the path. And I think we'll always go up and down as well. It's not like linear. It's not we start here at fear and grow up and just keep going up and up and up. It's like we start at fear, jump 2 steps, go back down one, jump 3 steps. It's just like it's constantly going and having the
Yeah.
willingness and the knowledge to or understanding that when you go up and down, it's fine. Don't like if
Mm.
when you go back down, it's like breathing in and out. You got to breathe in and then breathe out. There's
Yeah, life's
stages
a
to it. You go,
dance.
yeah. And I think to go through that with grace is to know that or understand that it is part of the path and you're not losing by going down. You're learning
Mm.
by going down so you can
Mm.
go back up.
And that's it. It's like every time you feel something's kind of drawing you down, for want of a better word, or giving you something to bringing something to your awareness, your conscious awareness, so that you can hopefully kind of clear an aspect of it. You might not clear it all. Like I don't believe that there's just like, oh, that's healed now. Like it's an evolution that we're here to kind of, yeah, we're here to learn about that pattern that's in us, or um, yeah, and kind of constantly it's going to come back around and around and around, right? But that one thing that this woman said, which I found it really kind of thrilling in some ways, is that like to have a certain level of the population at that level of neutrality is it's kind of like it pulls everyone kind of up in the collective. And
Mhm.
I'm not explaining that very well because I
I
don't
fully
have like
understand.
this deep knowledge of it. Um, so that's part of what barding is for me. It's like being out, having the confidence to share my voice. You know, I don't need a stage, I don't need a venue, I don't even need an audience. I just need to be out there sharing what's on my heart. And if somebody else does sense it or feel it, that is like the ripple
Hmm.
effect. And
Yep.
sometimes it might even just be the birds that are hearing it. And that's important too.
Mm.
And I love that I've gotten to that place now where I'm like, yeah, singing to the trees, that's part of what I'm here for, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a way that I conceptualize that is I like to think that we've all got like an invisible bubble or geometric shape around our head, and that all of us are connected to every other person ever. So even if we're being a hermit and we're sat inside, but we're vibing and we're raising the frequency and we're doing our thing, being authentic, we are affecting other people around the planet. And yeah, being in person with someone is probably a lot more effective. But whatever you do all the time is having an effect on every single person on the planet and maybe even the universe. I don't really know that much,
Mm,
but that's a way I like to conceptualize it and think about it is when you're on your own,
mm,
vibing, singing to the trees, singing to the birds, you're still rippling out to everyone around.
mm.
And
That's
to
reminded,
go
yes. That's reminded me of something. Carry on.
to go back on what you said about like look over here, look at this, and then no, I want to be neutral and kind of just be in your own vibe. Um, Getting everybody to look over there and look at this to try and get people in fear is like a way to move all that energy that's around your head at that little geometric shaped ball that's invisible that connects everyone to all that stuff. And the bigger that gets, the more other people will think about it. And that's why the neutral is so important because just a few people being neutral can pull people out of that fear that they're locked onto.
Mm,
Um, and what you said about a certain amount of people being neutral, then it can bring the people up. And then there's like a the next level above neutral, and I don't know what these are or the numbers behind this, but what I believe is when you get a certain amount of people up to neutral, it can then bring loads more people up there. And then when there's loads of people at neutral, you can take a few people up to the next one. And slowly it builds. Slowly there'll be like 10,000 people at the level above neutral. And then maybe one or two people can go above that level. And it's like slowly we're helping each other. Like it's like a pyramid. The more people at the bottom, we can have a few more people at the top. And then the more people start going up there, a few more people can go up to the next level. We're always bringing each other up, even if we're not conscious of it.
And we are in now an ascending cycle or yuga cycle, which is explained in like astrology terms. But yeah, one of the things that reminded me of was I think there is a name for it, something like biofield or something like this like invisible energetic kind of yeah frequency bubble that you're talking about.
Mhm.
And I was with on Tuesday I was with a friend who she does such beautiful work. She rescues ponies, Shetland ponies, and then they become therapy horses. And
Mm.
so they she takes them to work with different people and lots of children, often non-verbal children and that kind of thing. And these horses they like mirror your inner state, and I felt so calm and connected around these horses. And then she spoke to the fact that horses have like this huge biofield, so their heart resonance, like it really does like bring everybody in within a certain radius kind of in.
Mhm.
And that's essentially what we're talking about, right? It's that kind of entrainment of
Absolutely,
the
yeah.
resonance of the heart.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that toroidal field, I think, might be what you're talking about, having that bubble of energy around you that radiates from your heart. I read recently that the heart isn't like a few pieces of muscles, it's one muscle that folds out and it's twisted up to make the heart shape. So you can actually unroll it like a roll of paper, but it's twisted and makes the heart. And that's the spiral energy that then comes out of your toroidal field around your body.
Yeah,
I stayed
it's
in
absolutely
Montana.
true.
Yeah, I stayed in Montana in 2024, and I was looking after horses, and there was three horses there, and the lady who owns them, I was only with her for about a week before she left, and I took over the ranch to help out. But she um, does like horse whispering and energetic work with horses and stuff, and I didn't get to really pick her brain about that. But when I was with the horses, it was amazing. Like there was a few times on that trip when I was in Montana, I was going through some stuff, and there was times I felt very negative, and I just went to the horses and I was like, "Bro, help me out." And they were amazing, just so calming to be around. I hear what you're saying about the horses.
Yeah, like this particular lady, she when she first met me and heard some of my songs, she was like, "Oh, I'd love for you to write a song for one of my horses." And I got the opportunity to meet that horse on Tuesday, and it was quite a big, wild horse. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. And as we came away, she went, "That's the horse that I wanted you to write a song about." Anyway, I forgot about it after that. But as I was in the shower yesterday morning, the song just, whew, there it was. And obviously, I was just like, oh, amazing. It just came to me so quickly.
Mm,
And so now I'm working on the melody and whether I'm going to use my uke to play it or whether I'm going to create harmonies. And it just is like, okay, there's another little project. Brilliant. Off we go. um, so, um, what are you working on at the moment? And would you be happy to share something with us?
yeah, I'd love to. Bard wise, I've written a poem recently about the fire horse, being it's the year of the fire horse. However, I do actually feel called to share the one that I mentioned earlier. This is actually, it's my little poem book here, by the way. I'm just flipping through. This poem is the second poem I actually ever wrote. It's quite inspired by a teacher of mine called Jim Fortin, who taught me a lot about uh, neurolinguistic programming and the way the brain works, because all this spiritual stuff is just science in your brain and outside of, and energetically, it all ties in. But anyway, this is called Mother. Repetition is the mother of all learning. Again and again, you get up, you fall. You get up, you fall. Again and again, you must get up. Even when you feel stuck, you must rise up. As pathways grow, you reap what you sow. Now you must choose what makes you glow. Be wise and act to rise. Release your fear or be led to dreamers' demise. I trust this is clear. Don't act in fear, for your brain remembers. Pathways are like embers, left behind from the flame, yet active and hidden from the blame. This is not you, nor your thane, but the ancient old reptilian brain. Silent, yet loud, it can make you feel like a clown. But remember, you are the king of your fame, wearing a golden crown. So next time you hear reptilian brain in fear, give him a name and ask him to speak clear. Do you know this to be true? Does this match with heart's view? Is this the past trying to run on a new track? Reptilian brain only wishes to have your back. He thinks of a million ways to keep your ass sat back. But to survive is not to thrive. We must get up and explore new things in our lives. You get up, you fall. You get up, you fall. Again and again, you must have the courage to face it all. For it is here you may flourish, no matter how many times you fall.
Thank you. I love it. And do you know what, Frey? Having this conversation with you today has really just strengthened my own internal resolve for the divine will.
Well,
And
we lift each other up.
absolutely. Am I going to see you at any point in a field somewhere?
Yeah, running after you with a poem book in my hand, like, wait, wait.
Oh, that would be a blessed day. It really would. So we were going to meet in person yesterday, but it
Hmm.
wasn't. It wasn't to be. So I would love to get that in, and that basically means that Frey and I will go and sit by some ancient stones and share songs and stories and poems together.
Hmm.
And with anybody else that happens to be passing by. So that hopefully that will happen soon, next time at some
Absolutely.
point. Yeah. But what about festivals? Are you going to any festivals in the summer?
Yes, yeah, this year I'm going with the Way of Play to four festivals. I've got them written down somewhere. I think it's Medicine Festival, Into the Wild. Um, I'm not sure Butterfield is on the list that I'll be attending with the Way of Play, but I'll be going there on my own accord anyway. So yeah, I'll be at quite a few festivals this year, and I'll definitely see you around.
Yeah, I'll be at Into the Wild, so we'll definitely hook up there if nowhere else. Yeah, I'm going to be
Yes.
sharing songs in circle with my good friend Laura, who's in a band that also plays at Into the Wild. I think she's playing. Well, she did last year. Whether she will play this year with her band Soulbound, I don't know. But yeah, you'll be able to find us. by looking for the van that says Soulbound on the side. Because we're always camped together, and I take my retro folding caravan Pluto comes around with me to festivals. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to be going to Tribal Earth as well, which is the weekend before down in Lewes, and I'm going to Barefoot Festival up in Leicestershire. I'm not sure at the moment if there's any more on the horizon for this year, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be good. Oh, I'm going to a yoga camp as well. I'm going to be sharing some songs and stories at a yoga camp, so that's going to be cool.
Beautiful. The year
Yeah,
of the fire
yeah.
horse taking action. It's here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just like evolution. Like I'm seeing it kind of year on year as I kind of build my confidence in my voice. You know, for me, it started through singing in circle and getting back to that, like, oh, my voice, my song, you know, like I was just singing
Mm,
constantly as a child. And so to kind of be back in that place, yeah, it's just it feels like home. So I'm really super excited to see you at some point out on the circuits
me too.
and also at some stones just for like a quiet affair. If you can call it that. I'll come chasing people down with you.
Perfect. Two people running after some dog walkers in a field.
I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. It's going to be amazing. Is there
Yeah,
anything
it's
else
going to
you'd
be
like
fun.
to? Is there anything else you'd like to leave with the audience before we go? And please do say, like, you know, how can people follow you so that they can kind of, yeah, follow your journey?
A few things I'd like to say is I am awesome. I love myself. You are awesome. You should love yourself and don't be ashamed for loving yourself. It's not cocky to love yourself. Society has been built in this way where if you love yourself or put your head above the clouds, everyone's like, oh, look at that cocky guy or cocky girl. She loves himself. Oh, that's not good. No, love yourself. It doesn't matter what those people think. Love yourself. That's the best way you can grow and evolve and raise your frequency. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Frey the Bard. Um, yeah, find out more about my poems on my Instagram and Facebook. I've got some little guitar videos on there, a lot of flute playing. And you can also have a look at my offerings, which are coming out soon, which will be handwritten poems in a nice little leather book. So, yeah, if anyone's interested, let me know. And blessings.
Exciting! I'm looking forward to that. And when we do meet, I'm going to bring my flute because I want to get a lesson from you because I know you're absolutely amazing playing your flute.
My lesson will be like, go and experiment. Try it out. I
And
can
I
show you
will.
little techniques.
Yeah,
Good. Good.
techniques. That's what I need. Techniques so that I can go and practice them. But so I played one of these flutes at school, the
Oh
old
wow.
traditional Western flute. I was at grade
Hmm.
5 before I stopped playing that, so I was pretty good. But it's completely different, new ball game altogether
Mm.
with this flute. Yeah. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Frey.
My
Um,
pleasure.
so much love to you, and see you soon.
Thank you for having me on. Bye.
Bye.
My voice can show me the way.